What is up, humans? I'm gonna look at this black and white Curren Caples. Originally, I was just gonna make a short with this shoe right here, but I liked this shoe so much, and I think it looks so good. We've got the black, white Curren Caples. It's only $80. It fits pretty true to size, and recently I cut some up and we kind of looked at the insides, and I was so impressed by the insides, I wanted to dive deeper into this colorway so you guys could kind of see just how good this shoe is. So let's go ahead and look at it right off the bat. Like I said, this is your black and white Curren Caples by Vans. I just cut one of these up a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, and I was kind of blown away. But also, I expected to be kind of bored by another black and white shoe. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. One of my pet peeves is when everyone asks, when is the black and white one coming out? Because I get so tired of black and white shoes. I understand that is the go-to for everyone, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like a tick in my head. But when I open this black and white shoe, this might be one of the nicest, just carryover black and white pro model shoes I've seen in a long time. So I just think it looks really clean. It's very Vans. Obviously, you've got hints of like the classics over the years, just like Authentics and Eras, etc. Maybe even a little hint of an old school on that collar right there. And then you just got this really nice new grip pattern, your jazz stripe on the bottom right there. And also kind of hidden on this detail right here. You see the jazz stripe just kind of built into the stitching and the cuts or the panels of the shoe. I think that was really smart design, where it's not too overboard, but it just looks nice and clean. I also like this material break here from suede to nubuck, and then also mesh right there. Chris is going to be skating a pair of these pretty soon. He's our print shop manager, so hopefully in the future we'll have some skate clips and some wear tests and all that sort of stuff, just like natural wear tests in the streets. But like I said, 80 bucks, true to size. These are on bluetilesc.com right now. You do have, of course, your Pop Cush insole right there, so that's really nice. And a lot of times the shoes fit pretty tight with the Pop Cush insoles, but they're fitting me pretty good with Pop Cush. So it's like they built this shoe with Pop Cush in mind, so it doesn't feel too snug on my foot. I do an 11.5, true to size in my opinion. There is rubber behind this suede also, and a whole bunch of different construction that makes this thing super durable, which we're about to jump into in just a second. So let's go ahead and do that right sneaking now. That is your black white Curren Caples. And this is what we did to them last week. So last week I took a belt sander to these things. I thought this shoe would go through. I thought it would just tear up so super easy, but this took almost 5 minutes to wear through this shoe, and you can just see that huge notch in rubber. So there's just so much rubber to wear out before you get to the actual shoe. This DuraCap on the toe box, extra rubber around the toe box, just makes it last a lot longer. And then you can see that rubber material behind the suede really well. And then of course you got that mesh material behind that rubber also. So yeah, I was kind of blown away. I thought, it seems like a very basic shoe, so I thought that this shoe would just blow through really quickly. It was actually the number 2 shoe tested as far as like durability. So, and the other shoe was all rubber. So pretty big deal. I was kind of blown away. That's why I wanted to make this a full-length video instead of just a short for this new color of the Curren Caples. You can see 3 layers of rubber right there. Look at that. That's pretty insane. Here you go. Look at this. I cut this shoe so you could see on the inside. There's so much. You can see the different layers right here. You can see how thick that suede is and how you have that like padding on the inside of the shoe, that mesh padding all the way around. Well, let's look at this. This is pretty cool. This is your a good look at your DuraCap. You can see, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but there's 2 layers of vulcanized tape right there on that edge. You can see there's two. And then right here, as you see this little area poking up above this toe wrap or this piece, that piece of rubber goes underneath the sock liner. So do you see that? This is actually the rubber right here that goes to the top of the shoe. So right here in your biggest wear area, you have 3 layers of rubber to go through before you actually wear through the ollie area of this shoe. So, and then you can also see right here, very faintly, you can see this white rubber underneath here. That is your inside DuraCap. So 3 layers of rubber on the outer, then suede, then rubber again, and then this mesh or foam. Pretty insane. I just wanted to show you guys that. You can also see this like shock absorption or this really dense material on top of the outsole. That's just gonna be just barely a little bit of shock absorption underneath the sock liner, and then you would have your pop cush on top of that. So that is all your layers in the Curren, looking pretty crazy. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys all this so you could see just how durable this shoe is. Did I explain that pretty well? There's a ton of layers, a bunch of rubber, a bunch of suede, all those things you have to go through. And the shoe's only 80 bucks. So classic style, very durable, super grippy. I think that's all you need to know. That is the Curren, probably one of the nicest Vans shoes we've seen in a while that holds that classic aesthetic. You know, they've been doing some more cup sole kind of shoes lately as well that don't feel very Vans to me. This feels super Vans, but also innovative enough to have a pro's name on it. So pretty awesome. So that's the Curren for you. And that's it. I'm going to wrap this thing up. We'll see you guys in the next one. All the best and love Blue Tile. Goodbye.